We're starting over. Just cut. Just restart. Down.
Yeah, keep it down.
Your straw.
Keep it down. Welcome back to the Felt on the Average J Poker Show. It's Jan Sierra Poker Show. Sorry, forgot about you. Cool hand today.
You forgot about me.
So we are going to be visit a guy named Bart Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
Unknown relation to Chris Hanson. Maybe.
Great show still going on.
Yeah, he runs something called Crush Live Poker. He does something really unique where you were able to call him on the phone and he will analyze a hand with you.
A hand that you played or
hand
something?
that you played,
okay.
you know.
And then he just calls you, that was dumb.
Yeah, he just basically says, well, you're an idiot, dude. Get out of there.
Okay.
No, he's able to talk through what you should have done, what could you have done better, stuff like that. Kind of what we do on this podcast. Mm-hmm. But obviously
this is
he's
not
much
a
smaller.
podcast.
So he talks to these callers for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've cut to where he gives us his basically bottom line of the play, right? So they're gonna show us what happened, and then we could talk about it, what we would do, and then I've basically cut down. He gives his best, bottom line of what you should do in this hand. So it's gonna be cool. Like we'll get real time feedback on what an expert would do in that spot. So, I guess that's
it.
All the introduction it needs, right?
Here
we go.
Get 200.
All right, here we go.
Allergy season, full swing.
Well, you got me out in the yard working hard, so we're gonna have to deal with it. Here we go. All right, so I've opened up here. We are playing a 5-5-10 game.
Okay.
So we are in the 10 this time, and we have ace, queen of clubs.
Love it.
Nice hand.
Beautiful hand.
So I've cut it out to where we see the action here. So the hijack has opened to $40. The button calls.
Okay.
We already have our $10 in there.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So it's back onto us.
Back to
40,
us.
40, and then 10. Ooh. Like I raise it, but I have to raise it to get it heads up. I have to raise enough to make it heads up and not just, you can't double. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, I would make it like 90, 95. But I feel like you need to make it even more than that. So I would raise pretty big in that position. Even though you're out of position, you still have a premium hand.
Well, I think that is an example of why you want to raise so big. You're out of position. You would like to just take this money down now, not even play that.
Yeah.
So how much you thinking?
I would make it 3 times. So $120.
Well, 3 times, that's a waypoint in a heads up pot, but you got the button in there too.
Yeah.
So you're still.
I want to get somebody out of there, and I think that would. Yeah.
So something that people take as kind of a thumb. What's the word? Like a rule of thumb. That's what I was thinking. Thumbprint. I was like, that's not right. Rule of thumb. So your 3x raise is standard, but then you add an extra for everybody else that's in the pot. Okay. So in this case, you add extra 40.
So make it 150.
160-ish would be the standard. Now then you take a little extra because you're out of position.
Yeah.
So you may even want to think it up
like
to about 200 or something. Okay. And then, you've got a good enough hand to do it with too. So yeah, obviously I think there's not much analysis here. Everybody is probably raising this hand in our position. Just the question would be how much. So you're definitely not wrong with $120, but just something to think about with how many people are in the hand. I probably go around 200-ish because there's already $80-$90 in the pot with the blinds, and then with these guys raising 40 and calling. So there's $90 already in there. I could just win right now. So I probably make it about 200. But let's see what what our hero decides to do.
Ace of clubs, queen of clubs in the UTG straddle, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
All
three
right, so
bets
our
to
hero
200.
made it
Okay.
200.
Okay.
And then we can see
Plays
what
cool.
happens here.
So hijack calls and button calls. Button.
All right.
Great.
All right. So both players called us,
You're like,
which is not really, not
That's not
ideal
what
for
we
us.
wanted.
Not ideal.
but this flop is ideal.
But take a look at the flop, right?
Beautiful.
All right. So can't ask for much more than that
Mm-hmm.
when you're raising out of position, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So now the pot is $600
Mhm.
with 3 players calling your $200
Mhm.
raise. What are we doing?
I'm gonna check because I'm out of position.
Woo! Check. So we're not continuation betting,
I'm not
even when
leading
we
out.
smash the flop
Yeah, I'm not leading out here.
against these players.
Yeah.
All right. Do you just because you're out of position, or do
Check
you have?
call.
So you're in a check call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just if they, let's say you check, he bets out 300 or so.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna
I'm
call.
gonna call.
Okay.
What's wrong
Any
with
more?
that?
All right, any more analysis?
No,
Why
there's
would you
no
not?
more
Why would you not
analysis
bet this?
there because I'm out of position. I want to see where they're at, how confident they are with their hands. But this all goes with their range too. This is all in their range. Yeah, I mean, I could possibly check raise too, but I just think I don't want a continuation bet every single time. I don't want to be consistent every time, especially when I have a premium hand. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this person always, they have a premium hand. Especially when I show, they're like, okay, she's better. This smacks her range. I'm gonna fold. So why not see where everybody else is? See the comfort level of how they bet. So I could either check call, check raise, and that's my analysis, and that's why I would check
Okay.
this hand.
I think I would bet because there's 3 people in the hand.
Okay.
Now, heads up, I may take your approach out of position.
Okay.
But given 3 people in the hand, I think somebody's got a piece of this at
Mhm.
least. Diamond draw, an ace, maybe even 8 would call
Yeah.
me once. Whereas if I just checked, it may check through with an 8.
Check through. Okay.
So I'm gonna bet once. I'm gonna bet.
Yeah.
Try to build a pot, right? Because it just
Yeah.
flopped massive. So I probably take your approach heads up, my approach multi-way. So now we get the luxury
Mhm.
of hearing what an expert
Okay.
is going to say. So let's see what he thinks the best
See,
play
again,
is.
you watched this and then you gave me that confused look. You're like, why would you do that, you dummy? But then you listen to an expert.
No, I don't know what you're
okay.
talking about.
Okay.
I mean, the thing about these types of boards that I don't like to get necessarily tricky. I mean, it's one thing if you 3-bet like, pocket 10s, which I'm sure you probably would do, right, in this configuration, and the board comes out like 10-3 deuce rainbow, or like 10-6-3, something like that, rainbow, and you decide to check top set because there aren't many 10s left in the deck, and maybe these guys will catch up with top pair, and then you get value. But it's always interesting to note to me that somebody 3-bets here, like from your position, and then checks the flop. Personally, I don't do a lot of like stabbing in the sense where I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of betting here as your opponent with hands that I wouldn't otherwise call with, if you follow me. Okay, like I call, I'm going to bet like Jack 10 of diamonds, King 10 of diamonds, maybe some stuff like that. But I'm not going to like blindly bet like King 10 of hearts or something like that, or just a total airball. I mean, I guess maybe once in a while you run like some sort of like 3-bet to a backdoor, like 6-7 of clubs. But the problem is you're going to at least call anyways. And then maybe something like 6-7 of clubs would be the best one to do, just because if you raise, I can just easily fold. But it's just still one bet though. So that's why I just kind of like to bet the boards that I'm expected to bet. And
Made it. I check raised to
But did he
800.
check? He checked. He did exactly what I would do.
Okay, so just so we're not confused here. So the hero did check. The guy on the phone did check in this spot. He did what you did. He's giving his analysis on what he should do in this spot. He's saying, hey, on this wet dynamic board, I don't feel checking is your best option because players are going to call with a lot of stuff here. There's he gave the example if you had a set of 10s and a 10-3-2 board, there's nothing on that board, right? So maybe checking and let them catch up is the appropriate play. But with this board, you're going to get action from an ace. You're going to get action from diamonds. You're going to get action maybe from an 8. So build a pot, put some money in the pot instead of checking through. So that was his logic.
Okay.
But you're right. Our hero in this scenario did check. And we could see it did induce the hijack to bet 275. So almost 50% pot. So we're following your line here.
Yeah.
So now it's 275 back around to us. What are we going to do?
The hero checks, and I'm assuming he's going to do
We're the hero.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he's going to do what I would have done is check raise.
Check raise. The famous Sierra check. We finally get an opportunity to do it. She said.
The amateur check raise.
We love it. When he did this, he is going to check raise. Spoiler alert. And when he did it, I was like, Sierra's going to love this. Sierra's going to love the check raise.
But I do the check raise when I'm strong. Like, hello. Like, yeah. Okay. But I've minimized the check raise. I get made fun of by you so much because I get myself in trouble and I get myself in sticky situations, right? Because sometimes they re-raise or it's just so, my play is so obvious, right? So I don't check raise that much anymore, even though I love it. I love the check raise, just like I love queens, but I would just check call.
Oh, in this case, you would just check call.
Check
you
call.
would not raise.
Right.
Okay, that's different.
I said it's either
you're mixing
or.
it up
Yeah,
here.
I said it's either or. I'm either going to do a check call or check raise.
Okay, and in this case, you feel a check call.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the hero on the turn here. Okay, so our hero raises it to 800.
So hero raises to 800. Now, the other thing too, and we might talk about how maybe this is exploitable in the opposite way. The other issue that I have with check raising a hand like this is that if this guy bets like ace 7 suited, or God forbid, like ace 10 of hearts on this flop, and you check raise him and he just folds, you would have gotten more money by just playing it straight up, right?
Yeah.
The worst case scenario that happens here is that he bet folds like an ace. So
all right, do we understand what he was saying there?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it made a lot of sense when he said it, right? Because now you're giving him an opportunity to fold, where if we just would have bet out our continuation bet, he obviously would have called, and we could have checked and got him to bet. I don't know, could have played it more straight up and got more value. But yeah, we gave him the opportunity to fold by check raising. But taking your line of just check calling, we're giving him some rope, right? With whatever hand. All right. So now we get to the turn card. Possibly one of the worst ones in the deck for us. The old 8 of diamonds there. What are we thinking?
He said, okay, so on the turn
you don't see that. You don't see that yet.
I don't
you
see
don't see that yet. You don't see that yet. So let's take our hero's line here. He check raised, got called of $800. So now the pot's $2,200. 8 of diamonds on the turn. What are we feeling?
I would have bet this.
You would have bet what?
I would have let out. I would not have checked.
Oh, so when the 8 of diamonds comes, you still lead out.
I lead out now.
Okay, you could 10
because now he did the check raise or I did the check call. So obviously, like, I'm still liking my hand, and I'm going to show you that on this next one, like either with the check raise or the check call, that I'm still
Still like
confident.
your
Yeah,
hand?
I'm still confident.
You're not
with
scared
my
of the
hand.
diamonds?
I'm not scared of the diamond.
Not scared he
Yeah.
has some kind of 8?
Yeah. Repping diamonds. He could have an 8. I mean,
Probably doesn't have an 8 after you check
yeah,
raised.
yeah.
It would be tough for him to have an 8 unless
Yeah.
he had pocket 8s and you got quads, I guess.
Mhm,
But,
mhm.
so
I would not check the turn.
So yeah, you're leaning out, huh? Still
yeah,
confident
I'm
with your
still,
hand.
yeah.
Oof. That would throw me off if you did. So what hand do you think our opponent has at this point to just bet and then call your check raise here? What do you
Ace
think?
Jack.
Ace Jack. I
It's
mean, yeah, Ace
possible.
Jack is a call-ish type of hand in
Yeah.
that spot. But does Ace Jack call our check raise for $800?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
People do weird things.
Yeah.
I mean, diamond draw would definitely
Yes.
be well within his range to be calling and betting out the flop with. We have ace queen, so probably not a set of queens or something, right? There's no straight draws. Maybe
yeah, straight 9, 10.
10 jack,
Yeah. 10 Jack. Suited.
something like that.
Yeah.
But all those diamond draws just got there.
Mhm.
But you say you're still betting out,
Mhm.
still showing strength,
Mhm.
and it could work because the board did pair,
Mhm.
right? So even diamond draw, I'd be like, girl just check raised me.
Mhm.
Now she's betting again on
Yeah.
the board pair. She's
'Cause I
not
could
scared of the diamond.
I could be repping a king.
Could be
Diamonds.
yeah. You could have ace king with the.
Yeah.
You could have that
Yeah.
ace king with the king of diamonds.
Yeah.
All right, so still showing strength. Yeah, we see on the turn here, they both check, but let's get
Mhm.
our expert analysis.
Hijack, like if I was the hijack and I made even like maybe like king high diamonds here, I might maybe check behind sometimes here and see what you do at the end. And then if you check the end, maybe value bet or, or something like that. So we can't just blindly say that the hijack doesn't have diamonds just because he checks behind, because he might be thinking that you've got some full houses or you're just going to give up.
Yeah, so
Jam.
that was your thought process there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the villain here and you did hit diamonds, well, she did check raise me here.
Yeah.
She might have a full house, and you continue that story. So a
Mhm.
lot of credibility to the story. So yeah, your line may have been more favorable in this spot. So, but
You're
sorry.
heavy.
As played, we both check. So we
Okay.
check, villain checks.
Okay.
Right? So now we make it to the river. Another horrible one for
Another-
us. So we basically end up with dust.
Yeah.
We got, a paired board, 4 diamonds. Yeah, we started out great, ended horribly. What are you doing here out of position on the 5 of diamonds?
But I don't want to just put out a small bet here, because then he could just call, because he has all this money in there anyway. So like, what's it to him,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm repping either the full house or the king high flush.
So you're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to my story.
All right, so how much, so $2,200 pot, how much we got to
How
bet
much? How much does he have behind? How much do I have behind?
here? $2,200.
Oh, okay. I'm all in.
High five. Best play of the day, and I'll be honest with you, not the play I would have made.
Okay.
I would have just kicked myself, like, another bad hand check, and then I check full, right? That's the best play right there, to just shove it, because he checked the turn. He could be hiding in the weeds, sure, got it, but most likely he probably has one of those draw hands, the diamonds, that you're gonna lose to.
Because on the flop I did a check raise. On the turn I bet call probably, and then I just rip it on the river, just saying like flashing lights.
Yeah, I
I
got it.
have it all.
Yeah, I got it, and that would have been a beautiful play.
Okay.
And you would have outplayed me this hand.
And I would have shown, and then you would have been right.
Let's see what the expert analysis
Okay.
is.
From the river from up front, I think you might get almost everything to fold out here. you might get everything to fold out here. You might even put like the king of diamonds like in a real difficult spot.
You see what he was saying?
Yeah.
So he's taking your play, shoving it
Yeah.
on the river, and he's saying even the king of diamonds is probably going to fold here. I mean, some people are going to get sticky with it, whatever, but still beautiful play. They're definitely going to think about it for a minute before making their decision. And everything else besides probably the king of diamonds. And what king of diamonds does the guy have there that arrives in the river? Unless he has ace with the king of diamonds. That's the only hand that makes it to the river right there. So all those little 9-10 hands and 10 jack hands with a diamond in it folding out, and you won the hand. So beautiful play.
Did this guy end up winning the hand? Did he shove
He
it?
loses the hand.
Did he shove it on the river?
No, he checks the river, and the villain ends up checking back.
Okay.
Villain has 9-10 of diamonds.
Oh.
So he ended up with he did hit the diamonds on the turn, but he was not comfortable with his hand either. That's why your shove would have worked in this exact scenario.
Yeah, because check raise, continue on the turn, shove it on the river.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool hand, and we got some immediate feedback from someone smarter than us.
Yeah.
So it worked out for us.
I need to call in. I need to remember a hand though.
Yeah.
And how it played out. And how I bet
gotta
it.
remember it.
I remember the hand.
Well, I think I did. No, wait. No, let me back up.
No, I remember the cards. I
had-
just don't remember the betting and what they did. So I got to write it down.
All right, but that's all from us at the Jay and Sierra Poker Show. Back out to the yard work.
With all the pollen
With
in
the-
North Carolina.
Until next time.
I just ripped my earring out. Bye.
Bye.